أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم.
In the dark days of colonial rule in Africa, precisely 9 years after the amalgamation of the Northern and Southern Protectorates to found the country called Nigeria in 1914, and good 37 years before Nigeria's independence from the British colonial masters in 1960, a groundbreaking event took place in the heart of Lagos on December 21, 1923. ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society of Nigeria was founded. The epoch-making event marked a new beginning at the kickoff of a quiet revolution that changed the course of history in Africa's most populous country forever.
In 1923, when the society was established, the Muslim Ummah suffered very greatly from Western education. The parents of the founders of the society were afraid to send their children to schools because those schools belonged to the Christian mission. They were afraid because some of their children, and this happened in real fact, were forced to convert to Christianity. And so very few children went to school. So that was the purpose, and is still the purpose, of the existence of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society of Nigeria.
And at some point it became a tool for evangelization, such that Muslim children who craved Western education had to compromise their faith, had to change their religion, change their name, change their ways of life in order to achieve that education. This was what prompted the founding fathers of the ANSAR-UD-DEEN to put together the efforts that culminated in the formation of the society.
The foundation of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society, laid in colonial Lagos, was a divine intervention far beyond human comprehension.
The society was founded by young persons, under 30. And we are still trying, and they continue, of course, as all advanced in age. And over the years, the members of the society, the founding members, removed the word young and just call it ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society of Nigeria.
Ìgbà tí ANSAR-UD-DEEN ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, bàbá wa tó jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ alfa, òun náà ni bàbá wa Kásùmù Ekemade, kí Ọlọ́run bá kó bá fọ̀run kẹ́ wọn. Lẹ́yìn tí wọn ni bàbá wa Arazuma Aláàyá, kí Ọlọ́run kó bá kẹ́ wọn náà. Kó tó wá dé orí bàbá wa tó wà ńbẹ̀ sí Sheikh Abdulrahman Ọláńrewájú Ahmed.
According to the constitution enacted in 1926 to establish the society's rules of conduct, Young ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society was founded to found, build and operate educational facilities, encourage literacy and intellectual pursuits among its members, promote the religious and moral advancement of the Muslim community, eradicate all forms of evils and corruption that crept into Islam, and foster brotherhood among all members of the Muslim community, spread the great message of Islam, and disseminate true knowledge of the Holy Quran among all people, translate the Holy Quran and all the Islamic books into local languages, and circulate this among Muslims and non-Muslims. 96 years and counting, the ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society is proved to be a symbol of tenacity of purpose, an icon of self-help, and a model of African success story at large, taken from Lagos to the world.
We have successfully graduated not less than 200 students. At least on 3 or 4 occasions we have conducted Walima ceremony for our children, and particularly even for adults. And the Arabic schools are growing. We now have more than 5 centers holding in Lagos, in Surulere, about 3 in Lagos, about 1 or 2 on the island. So this is a very major, because it's catch them young. It enables our children, after leaving school, to come for Arabic lessons.
Like the tiny acorn seed that becomes a mighty oak tree, ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society is known today started as Young ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society. The word young was maintained because one ANSAR-UD-DEEN group had already existed within Lagos Central Mosque.
The Young ANSAR-UD-DEEN, as it was originally called, was a visionary child of circumstance. A child of circumstance because it didn't just, come up because people wanted to form a society or an association. But there was a need, there was a gap. There was a gap in education, particularly of Muslim children. There was a gap in the proper organization of the Muslim community that is achievement oriented.
We are making efforts to make sure that the children of society remain in the society. The grandchildren of the founding fathers also remain in the society. We are making efforts to ensure that young persons, young Muslims, join the society in the crusade for spread of Islam and also educating the Muslim child.
I may say I'm one of the lucky ones. As I'm talking with you, my wife is a regular member. All my children are regular members. The husband of my children, my female children are members. The wife of my male child is a member. She's a member. And some of my grandchildren, they do come to ANSAR on weekend basis to do ANSAR. And they look at even my first grandchild is one of those, the infant group, and they are very formidable. They too have their own chairman that my predecessor used to put the chairman by his side when we have activities. So, and even in the ANSAR, their chairman used to talk when we have a sort of seminar.
I think they should improve and attract more younger people to the society. And to this end, they have to find what that will attract the youth. We are in the digital area, digital years now. It's not just a question of the traditional one which we are used to. They should think of digital years, what that will attract the youth to come to join the society.
We are trying to latch on the families of our deceased members who have gone beyond to ensure that at least the legacy of ANSAR-UD-DEEN in their homestead continues, so that by that we would bring their children and children's children into the fold of ANSAR-UD-DEEN. That's on one part. On another part, there is the charge that the national president has given to us a little while ago, so that we should try as much as possible to see how we can bring up ANSAR-UD-DEEN young societies in universities and secondary schools. These are the things that we intend to look into as part of our membership drive.
However, the founding of the society was influenced by two major events affecting Islam and Muslims in colonial Lagos. One, the need to provide Muslim children with Western education without having to convert to Christianity. The other is the need to promote cooperation among Muslims and put an end to the conflict within Lagos Ummah that had led several splinter groups and sects.
Not only for the Muslim child, let me explain that one. Our schools, primary, secondary, and university are all open to all. But the purpose is to ensure that Muslim children have access to education. And all I've said is without prejudice to our pursuit or spread of Islam, because that one, there was no government takeover. It's been a continuous operation.
Committed to promoting the intellectual pursuits of young Muslim children, ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society established its first primary school at Alakoro in the heart of Lagos. Turning over the sword for the school's first building held in September 15, 1926, in the presence of the acting governor of Lagos Colony, Mr. G.H. Findlay, while the school formally took off in 1931 when the first set of pupils were admitted. In the spirit of oneness of Islam, the doors of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Primary School at Lakoro, and in fact all ANSAR-UD-DEEN schools afterwards, were thrown open to all and sundry, without let or hindrance, bias, discrimination, tribal or religious sentiments.
The spread of Islam, propagation of Islam, and educating the Muslim child. And Lagos branch has played a very, very prominent role in pursuit of the two objectives of the society. For example, the first primary school established by the society was ANSAR-UD-DEEN Primary School, Alakoro. And I have the honor of being a student at that school in the late 30s and also in the 40s. That's where I had the privilege of having my primary education. And so many other children at that time of my age belonging to Muslim homes also had their education there. So that was the significance of Lagos branch, to be the premier, first among equals, first among the other branches which the society established in the 30s, in the 40s, all over the country, in terms of states, in many major states in the country, including Borno State, Kano State, all over the country.
Whereas Christian missionaries who owned schools in several strategic locations had influenced the colonial authorities to insist that only Christians could benefit from their own facilities, thus depriving a multitude of Muslim children of the opportunities to acquire Western education. It was so unfortunate that missionary schools were practically used as instruments of Christian evangelization, and Muslim child will have to convert to Christianity first of all to be able to attend. And there arose a major social crisis therefore, as majority of Muslims refused to forsake their faith even at the risk of depriving their words.
Advancement of education arose because there was no single Muslim primary school, not to talk of secondary school, apart from Ahmadiyya Primary School at Elegbata. There was no other primary school in any part of Nigeria in 1923 when the society was established. The Muslim Ummah suffered very greatly from Western education. The parents of the founders of the society were afraid to send their children to schools because those schools belonged to the Christian mission. They were afraid because some of their children, and this happened in real fact, were forced to convert to Christianity. And so very few children went to school. So that was the purpose, and is still the purpose of the existence of ANSAR-U-D-DEEN Society of Nigeria.
In response, ANSAR-U-D-DEEN Society of Nigeria was founded by 42 young and educated Muslims who were interested in the advancement of Islam and the education of Muslims, both young and old.
The society also had a number of secondary schools throughout the country, which most of which, or all of which, were taken over about 1976. That was the policy of the federal government under Murtala Muhammad and also Obasanjo at that time, the takeover of secondary schools. But the society still maintains a number of primary schools in the branches and a number of secondary schools also in the branches. In Lagos, for example, the premier secondary school established by the society in 1953. That's ANSAR-U-D-DEEN College Isolo, was established by the Lagos branch of the society. So 3 of the schools, secondary schools, established and were premier institutions, the pride of the society. Apart from the college at Isolo, you have the grammar school, ANSAR-U-D-DEEN Grammar School at Surulere, which is also over 60 years old. You have the premier Girls High School, ANSAR-U-D-DEEN Girls High School at Itire. All these 3 were established by the Lagos branch of the society over 60 years ago.
Recognizing the important roles women could play in the organization, a distinct women's wing was established in 1926.
I joined ANSAR-U-D-DEEN year 1962 when I returned from England, and we used to call it Young ANSAR-U-D-DEEN then, and we were at Alakoro in Lagos, and every Tuesday we bound to be at the meeting. Even if my husband will be just rushing in to go to the meeting. So it's part and parcel of us, ANSAR-U-D-DEEN. And since then, I've been trying to do my best. You cannot do everything, but I did. The little I did, I thank God.
In Lagos branch, mo ṣe ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀, mo dẹ̀ dọ̀gá ń bẹ̀, mo ṣe chairperson division ní division 3, a dẹ̀ ṣe dáadáa. Pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run fún wa ṣe. Nígbà tí mò ń ṣe, mo bójú ẹ̀yìn pé ibi tí àwọn èèyàn ti ń kírun lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ sí yẹn, pé yẹpẹ ẹrọ̀fọ̀ tójò bá tẹ ẹ̀dẹ̀ẹ̀dẹ̀ àkìṣe. Mo wá bẹ̀ lọ pé wọ́n lọ omi láṣìírí mo fẹ́ tún bí ìṣe. Kì í ṣe pé máa kọ̀ọ̀kan ṣe lásán, máa tá ẹ̀rín Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ fún mi ṣe. Mo dẹ̀ ṣe ibẹ̀ ni gbogbo wa ń kírun sìn. Inú tí ANSAR-U-D-DEEN tó ṣe nìyẹn. Only
3 years after the society was founded, making it the first Muslim association in Nigeria to do so. In 1927, Young ANSAR-U-D-DEEN Society of Nigeria was officially recognized as a non-governmental organization, and it opened its doors wider to all Muslims from various backgrounds, male and female.
The main focus must be understood in terms of Islam itself, which brought a package that included education, that included welfare, that included health, that included, morals, and so on and so forth. So it is not possible for ANSAR-U-D-DEEN or any other Islamic group to detach or divorce, all right, Islam from education, from health, from social engineering or re-engineering. So I tell you that even from the earliest time, ANSAR-UD-DEEN had also been interested in health. I tell you a story. In the old Egbado division of the Western region, you know, there was once a crisis because the only hospital was the Sacred Heart, Lanturu. That was the only hospital in the vicinity. And then Christians used to go to Imasai town, which is a town in Egbado, now known as Yewa. You know, they used to go there, and there's only one vehicle that goes to Abeokuta from Imasai every week, and it was provided by the Christians. And the condition is that before they take you to Sacred Hearts, you have to be Christian. So even those who are Muslims who are not ready to change to Christianity will have to pretend before they are taken there. So it was from Imasai that people who are Muslims came to Lagos to meet some of the founding fathers of ANSAR-UD-DEEN to tell them their plight. And then they built a full-fledged hospital in the days of Western region. The hospital is still standing in Imasai till tomorrow. It's still subsisting, functional.
Fast approaching a century, the Lagos-grown society is among the oldest and is perhaps the largest in Nigeria today. Besides, it is one of the world's most famous Islamic organizations of purely African origin. There is a lot to write home about on the Lagos branch of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society in the area of innovation, staff motivation, charity, and humanitarian endeavors, let alone one form of assistance or the other to members of Muslim community at large and humanity in general.
During these 11 years, we have done a lot, you know, starting with the very objective of the society, which was and still is propagation of Islam, advancement of education, Western education in particular, health facilities. These are the three core objectives. Then others are subsidiaries. So in the propagation of Islam, we did this. In fact, during that period, luckily we acquired 3 additional mosques, you know, which were, to say, donated to us by a good member, a philanthropist, and a member of the society. The 3 are located within the Surulere area.
Ní ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ ní Lagos branch, ní ọjọ́ Thursday, ní ìtànpé ní tààlìm látago 5 àbọ̀ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí ìdálẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nípa bá a ṣe sin Ọlọ́run. Tá a bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tán ní aago 5 àbọ̀, aago 6 àbọ̀, a fún àwọn èèyàn láyè láti béèrè ní tí a sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí tí ò bá yé wọn. Lẹ́yìn eléyìí tá a bá kí Magribi tán, àwa sọ odidi Al-Qur'ani kalẹ̀ fún request, fún ìbéèrè olúkálùkù tó ń fẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Àwọn èèyàn tí obi tó jìn wá, àwọn tó àti ibi tó súnmọ́, ẹ tó jẹ́ member àti ẹni tí kì í ṣe member.
Lagos branch is foremost in the care, health care of its members. Not only of its members, but also people in the neighborhood. So there is a sort of a hospital or health center managed by doctors, which Lagos branch has been running for quite a number of years, over 10 years. And we are trying to spread that to other areas, local governments in Lagos State. In fact, recently the society adopted a policy of ensuring that we look after the health of our members by establishing health centers in the various branches of the society. This is a beginning, but Lagos branch has been doing it for over 10 years. We want to spread this one all over the place.
Ní àsìkò tí wọ́n kó gbogbo ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ jọ, wọ́n ṣètọ́jú àwọn obìnrin torí àwa máa ń kọ̀mpléènì pé ẹ gbàgbé wa ní kò wá mọ́ àwọn ọ̀dọ́, dẹ̀ jẹ́ kí àwa náà ká lo ṣáǹsì wa, dẹ̀ fún wa láyè láti lo ọpọlọ tọ́lọ́run fún wa, ṣùgbọ́n lásìkò tí wọ́n ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo obìnrin wọ́n láyè tiwọn, wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ tiwọn, wọ́n ní ohun tí wọ́n ń ṣe, wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe tọ́lọ́run gbà fún wa.
Tí ọdún bá ti parí, a máa yẹ̀wé wọn wò gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tó ń pè ní staff assessment. A sì rí i pé tí ó bá ti di ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọdún tuntun míì, a fi owó kún owó wọn. Ọ̀nà míì tún ni pé a máa ń fún àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ wa ní ìsinmi lọ́dọọdún gẹ́gẹ́ bí òyìnbó ti ṣe sọ pé rest is sweet after labour, but without labour, rest is a burden.
I know the importance of staff welfare, and we brought that here. The staff were adequately motivated to the extent that there is job satisfaction, through the motivation. In between, we give salary increment on regular basis. We promote our staff on regular basis, and on the social scene too, we have end of the year get together for all the staff, and it's to motivate them.
Without doubt, history of modern Lagos and by extension Nigeria as a whole would not ever be complete without the history of Lagos branch of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society.
Lagos branch was where it all started, not as just a branch, but as the place where the society, the idea was birthed, was nurtured until it started growing.
The society, ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society of Nigeria, started from Lagos branch. One of the things we started was to introduce investment, savings, investment into estate. The first harvest that was conducted when I became treasurer, it was out of the proceeds that we bought the property at Akinwumi, which we are using today as a primary school. So we started with contribution and donation. One of our members, late Chief M.K. Abiola, volunteered to build the Islamic Center for us at Festac. Another one volunteered to build a mosque for us at the College of Education, Solo.
ANSAR-UD-DEEN Lagos branch, àwa dé bá wọn lẹ́nu ẹni, wọ́n sì ti ń ṣe káwa tó join wọn. Wàláì wọn ò ṣe nǹkan tó kù tààrẹ̀. Bá dẹ̀ ti ń ṣe táwọn kan kúrò ńbẹ̀, nígbà táwa débẹ̀, a tún improve lórí nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe. Nítorí mo rántí pé nígbà táwa débẹ̀, a dá library sílẹ̀. Ẹ̀rọ ìgbàlódé tá fi ń kọ́ ọmọ wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kò sí ńbẹ̀ nígbà táwọn bàbá wa wà ńbẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tó dé, a nílé ẹ̀kọ́ fún, a ní school fún lókè níbí ní Lagos branch. Jẹ́ pé àwọn kíwé náà ọmọ tèmi pẹ̀lẹ́ tó jáde níbẹ̀. You see, achievement nígbà tẹ́nà ti wà, àwọn achievement tí àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbé ṣe ni.
Alhamdulillah, investments wise, we tried our best. We have properties all over Lagos State. In Badagry, in Ekpe, in Naija, in name it, in Apapa, as even big as Apapa. So we have properties all over, and that is where our source of income small, we get something from there. And we are still on. We even have land bought from Lagos State, allocated to us by Lagos State from this new estate coming up here and there. It was done in our tenure. If you talk of health, we have our clinic that we are even planning to upgrade to a hospital.
Lagos branch of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society. From whatever angle you look at it, you will always find the fine touch of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society of Nigeria in the scheme of things, specifically in Lagos and especially in education. The list of prominent personalities today who were products of ANSAR-UD-DEEN School as a long and impressive, both male and female.
In the early 70s, early mid-70s, the takeover of schools dealt a very serious blow to the society because the society had a network of efficiently managed schools across the country, and there was a school manager, there was an inspectorate system, everything was functioning, the system was unitary, and it was going very well.
There is a gap, there is a lacuna between schools of ANSAR-UD-DEEN and other private schools. I have been opportune to principal other private schools that are not Islamic oriented. But when I came to ANSAR-UD-DEEN Grammar School, you see principles, you see modalities of how to do things in an organized manner. And you see that every staff within the school grow with the school. They grow with the school. We hardly add a teacher that will leave in 1 or 2 or 5 years. We've seen teachers that have stayed for 10, 15 years within the system. If the system is not good, you have a very high turnover. And in terms of our students, they go to competitions and you see the result they bring. In ADEX school, when I say ADEX school, I mean ANSAR-UD-DEEN Education Trust School. There are 3 schools under this ADEX. We have grammar school, which is boys only. We have ANSAR-UD-DEEN College Isola, which is a mixed school, boys and girls. And we have ANSAR-UD-DEEN Geza School Itire, purely girls. In these 3 schools, there are so many competitions: debate, quiz competition, Islamic competitions, Korean competitions, and so many more. Every child that joins any of our school will be proud of 2 or 3 certificates at the end of 6 years.
Academically, we are well known. We are in the forefront. And when it comes to sports too, since education is not just about academics, psychomotor aspect is also there. We have been there. We are well known. We have participated in GCB Heritage Cup. We have competed with well-known schools like Queen's College, like Green Spring, like Atlantic Hall, and we have won. So since 2013, we have won the 1st place in GCB Heritage Cup. Since 2015, we have been winning 2nd place in GCB Heritage Cup, and this year too, we are there in the competition. So ANSAR-UD-DEEN School is a school that when you put your child there, you can close your eyes and sleep. Be rest assured that we will take care of them, we will nurture them with love and prayer, and we are like a second home to our children.
ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society of Nigeria is an household name in terms of religion, in terms of education. There is nowhere you visit in Nigeria, every nook and cranny, you meet ANSAR-UD-DEEN AUD Grammar School, AUD Nursery Primary School in those days. And up till now, they've been a pacesetter and a pioneer of Islamic education combined with Western education. For instance, in ANSAR-UD-DEEN Grammar School, we look at the number of products, the number of people that the school has produced in the last 60 years. Proudly, we make mention of the Oba of Lagos, is an ex-student of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Grammar School. and a great number of other people that have graduated, that have been trained Islamically to be a model to represent Islam wherever they go to.
People you put in, good standard, teachers. Don't just put in any teacher that even you have to teach the teacher instead of the teacher teaching the people. But that's what I'm saying. If they got good qualified teachers that can put impact to the student, and how they tell them they are uniform, they dress well, they behave well, behaviors count. The people from ANSAR-UD-DEEN, what do you think about them? But you see, if they show on Ilele or Tinkesho Road, the home training, if they show the home training, they show their way, the uniform clean, they look well, they behave well, no doubt about it. People will come into it. They say that's a good school. People will recommend it.
In ANSAR-UD-DEEN Grammar School, we have qualified teachers, a well-disciplined principal, we have science laboratories with all the latest equipment, we have thermodynamic room, we have the computer lab, sports room, school farm, name it.
The school engaged in lots of sporting activities, which has won us so many laurels and medals, and which has brought the school to a very great height. We have competent teachers who teach our students very well, and their results after the examination has always been outstanding.
Without doubt, ANSAR-UD-DEEN schools are raising young men and women who will compete favorably with their peers around the globe and be among the world leaders, movers and shakers tomorrow.
Our fees are affordable. We're not taking 400,000. We're not taking 300,000. I mean, we're not like so-called missionary organizations or religious organizations who charge school fees that are beyond the reach of members. No. Our fees are moderate, our fees are affordable, within the economic reality of the time that we live in. It is not for profits. All we are striving for is just to provide, like it is traditional.
ANSAR-UD-DEEN has got to a stage where we now have a summit university, which is based in Offa. That is the pinnacle of ANSAR-UD-DEEN's educational pyramid. And we in Lagos branch are supporting this university to the fullest. In fact, one of our members is about commissioning a building, an entrepreneurship development center, which is nearing completion at the university. Aside that, our members contribute monthly to the purse of the university. In essence, we are now trying to see how we can increase, let me say, the generational program of pupils from the nursery and primary school to the secondary to the tertiary in ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society of Nigeria. Because one of the reasons why ANSAR-UD-DEEN was formed as well is the emancipation of the Muslim youth through exposure to Western education.
ANSAR-UD-DEEN wọ́n ṣàkitiyan púpọ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ pàápàá ẹni tó lọ yàn fún wa ní president bó bá kíkà ọ̀rọ̀ yunifásitì ló máa bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ bó bá ní bàbá kí làlàáfíà yín ṣeré á ní yunifásitì kò kọ́ owó yìí sí ó dẹ̀ ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ dọ́là kódà àwa tá a jọ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ kò fi wá lọ́rùn lẹ̀ ohun alókùn lọ́rùn ni pé ANSAR-UD-DEEN yunifásitì yẹn sẹ́ kò gbọ́dọ̀ mẹ́hẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run sì ràn wá ṣe.
Notable among Lagos branch of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society are the Olowo Eko Obarilwan Aremu Oshuolale Akiolu the first, who is a product of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Grammar School, Surulere, and a former Inspector General Police, Alhaji Muslim Smith, who was a student of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Secondary School, Isolo.
After the takeover of schools, the Lagos branch, after you learn, also established the ANSAR-UD-DEEN Academy, a number of nursery primary schools, and a college of education, which was an improvement, so to speak, over what it met on ground, what it had done.
Education also, we are very keen on, providing secondary education for children, especially the disadvantaged. And Muslims are very, very disadvantaged in that area. We have a policy, policy for the society to ensure establishing secondary schools with common curriculum in different towns of the country. I have no apology whatsoever in making claim to this, that ANSAR-UD-DEEN has remained and will remain the foremost Muslim organization in the country, especially in achieving our twin objectives, educating the Muslim child and also the spread of Islam.
For a religious organization, it is awe-inspiring that the Lagos branch of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society is a key player in the real estate sector, with proceeds therefrom reinvested to propagate the cause of Islam and the organization. What will members of the incumbent executives say about their own unique vision for ANSAR-UD-DEEN juxtaposed with immediate past executives on their specific achievements?
Most of our outside members, they are professionals. Even some of them are heads of their organizations or their establishment. They don't have much time to be part of the certain members. But we will continue to communicate with them on a regular basis. And we want to make our mode of disseminating information a very fertile one, so that whatever we do today with the city members, before Sunday, those outside will have been informed.
I will only implore them, starting with the branch chairman, to improve as much as possible on the legacy we are leaving behind. They should definitely improve on the legacy, because we have done our best, during this period, and we have brought ANSAR-UD-DEEN Lagos branch in the forefront among the 37 other branches in Lagos State Council. We remain the #1 branch, we remain the premier branch, we remain the mother branch for all the other branches, because we do, we extend our magnanimity to them in terms of moral support, financial support, and everything. So they should try and maintain this lead, in the coming years.
Òwe àbí àṣà ANSAR-UD-DEEN, wọ́n ní ANSAR-UD-DEEN odó orin ni, ẹnìkan ò lè gún tán. Tó o bá gún díẹ̀ ń bẹ̀, wàá fi ìyókù lẹ̀ fáwọn tí tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn. So àwọn tó ṣẹ̀ kúrò lórí ìjọba, wọ́n gbìyànjú. Tá a bá ní ká máa ka àwọn àṣeyọrí wọn ó pọ̀ nípa ìdàgbàsókè, àbí nípa àmójútó àwọn àfáà, àbí nípa ká kọ́ mọ́sálásí, àbí ká àwọn ọ̀nà tá a lè gbà fi ṣe dáwà láti fi gbé ẹ̀sìn Ọlọ́run ga. Torí pé láyé ń sìn ká máa tọrọ bárà ó ti fẹ́ sún àwọn èèyàn, àbí ẹgbẹ́ wa ronú pé ó yẹ káwa náà ní tí a máa ti bẹ̀rù owó, à ń kọ́lé tí à ń fi rent, a ní clinic bó ti yá sí pé àǹfààní tó pọ̀ ní fún àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ àtẹ̀ntíkì sọmọ ẹgbẹ́ bẹ̀ tókè àwọn owó díẹ̀díẹ̀ tó ń wáyé ń bẹ̀. So gbogbo kíní ni àwọn tí ó kọjá yìí ni wọ́n ṣe. So àdúrà wa náà ni pé fún àwọn tó ń bọ̀, k'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ káwọn náà tún lè ṣe jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, gẹ́gẹ́ bí àdúrà t'Ọlọ́run ṣe fún Ànábì wa Muhammad pé walal akhiratu khayrun laka minal ula, ọlá rẹ yóò dáa ju èyí lọ. À ń bẹ Ọlọ́run ọba pé ọlá ANSAR-UD-DEEN k'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó dáa ju èyí tá a wà ń bẹ.
My advice, especially to those who are now in the saddle, who have just taken over, is for them to sit down and search their minds. Why have they taken this job? Is it for the sake of Allah? Is it for God or for gold? Is it for self-aggrandizement or for selflessness? Is it for praise or for service? This is very, very important. They must not see themselves as bosses, but as servants. As for those who handed over, may Allah reward them for their efforts, forgive their mistakes. It is time for them to also sit back, look back, and take stock and see what they could have done differently. What they did right, they should thank Allah and should not allow themselves to be robbed of the reward.
From a humble beginning, albeit with a giant vision in 1923, to the lofty height it has attained and the significant roles it has continued to play in the multifaceted life of the present day.
Touched so many times. As the man in charge of the secretariat, we have our staff, and alhamdulillah, by my own time, we increase in so many ways. We have the missionary staff that we paid salary to. We have administrative staff that we pay salary to. I will tell you authoritatively, as I'm sitting, that we have 8 drivers with 9 vehicles. You ask me, are we selling bread or we are selling ororo or we manufacture whatever? No. By the grace of Almighty Allah, that is how we expand. And I'm sure the new administration that has just taken over now will do more.
Lagos branch has always been the torchbearer for the society up till now, ever since. Whatever you do in this society, because of the historical fact that the society was started in Lagos by some Muslims, and everybody believe till today that Lagos branch is the father and the mother of ANSAR-UD-DEEN. It is recognized that we are the proprietor of the branch of this society. So our contribution is tied to that, and that's what Lagos branch has been doing. For every contribution, like even when the Summit University is on, contribution from Lagos branch is the highest.
The ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society, though not political, is a force to reckon with in the socio-political landscape of Nigeria.
The Lagos branch is like the heart of the body. It's still playing that role in every respect, in financing the society, in commitment to the cause of Islam, and I hope that the other branches will catch up with Lagos branch and even overtake Lagos branch.
Everything that has a beginning has an end. However, the journey started in 1923 between Lagos City and ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society does not seem to have an end in sight. Without missing words, the Lagos branch of ANSAR-UD-DEEN Society and Metropolitan City of Lagos are co-travelers in the journey of life for life.
وآل محمد يا مسلمين صلوا عليه اللهم صل على محمد وصحبه محمد يا مؤمنين صلوا عليه